A rumor that has been floating around for a few months now has been that Microsoft was negotiating with Obsidian Games to purchase them. And well, it seems like that rumor might end up being true, as Kotaku just published an article saying that Microsoft is extremely close to finalizing a deal to purchase Obsidian Games, and one of their sources told them, and I quote, "It's a matter of when, not if." So this is pretty big news for Xbox, and I want to talk about it. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And man, yesterday saw the big announcement of Microsoft's game streaming service with Project xCloud, and today brings us some juicy rumors and speculation, and you guys know I love talking about this. And it's a big one, quite frankly. I did a video about this a couple months ago when the rumors first surfaced that Microsoft was looking to add to their first-party stable, this time with Obsidian Entertainment, a great developer. And if we go to Kotaku, Jason Schreier wrote, Microsoft is finalizing a deal to acquire the independent developmental studio Obsidian Entertainment, according to 3 people briefed on the negotiations. We don't know if ink is on paper yet, and plenty of major acquisition deals have fallen apart in the final hours, but those close to the companies believe it is all but done. One person with knowledge of the deal told Kotaku they heard it was 90% finished. Said a second person, it is a matter of when, not if. So I know a lot of Xbox fans have read the article, heard the news, are excited about potentially Obsidian joining the Xbox first-party stable. Now, if you recall, back at E3, in fact, I'm running the video right here to remind everybody, Microsoft announced the purchase of 4 brand new studios and the construction of a new one. That being the Initiative. They bought out Ninja Theory, who did Hellblade. They've bought out Playground Games, who just shipped Forza Horizon 4, 92 on Metacritic, best-selling Forza game, fastest-selling Forza game. They bought out Undead Labs, who worked on State of Decay games. They bought out Compulsion Games, who did put out We Happy Few, 2 very mediocre critical reception, not sitting well on Metacritic. But they addressed the biggest issue that people have with Xbox. My biggest issue that I've had with Xbox the past couple years, the biggest issue everybody seems to have with Xbox for some time now, and that is they don't really have a lot of first-party developers. You know, this is dating all the way back to even the 360 era. Microsoft was more about creating deals with developers to make games for them instead of building a robust and great first-party development studio. And here we are, Microsoft, knowing that next gen is upon us, knowing that, hey, this gen didn't go out exactly like they thought they would. They got, the shit kicked out of them by Sony, and Nintendo's right there, right behind them, about to lap them. They are essentially third place when it comes to this type of stuff, although I don't really think they care so much about terms of placing in the console war. And they decided, you know what, it's time. We need a great first-party developmental studio. We are embarking on Xbox Game Pass, which is a subscription service that you can subscribe to $10 a month, get access to over 100 games. Microsoft decided it would be in their best interest to put their own games in there day one to help drive engagement and growth in the service. And if you're going to offer that type of subscription service, you need steady content, great content as well, to go into that service. So you needed first-party studios, which is something they lack. So of course, you gotta go out and you gotta buy them. You gotta build them, and they're doing exactly that. So the fact that Microsoft is out here trying to buy Obsidian, buying Ninja Theory, should tell you all you really need to know, that they're deadly serious about this fight coming up for next generation. I've said before last year that the checkbook was open, that Microsoft gave, Phil Spencer the green light, that Satya Nadella was all on board with gaming when before he really wasn't. Phil convinced him that gaming was extremely important to the company, and you're starting to see it play through here. You know, buying studios isn't cheap. Adding all these employees cost a ton of money, especially in an era where Microsoft previously was shutting down studios. We all recall when they shut down Lionhead, when they shut down Ensemble, when they shut down a couple of the other smaller studios they bought, when they canceled Scalebound, for that matter, And here we are, a couple years after Lionhead is shut, and Microsoft has, they basically doubled their first-party studio, and it's really amazing to see this happen, especially when you were one of the vocal ones about needing this to happen. Now, Obsidian, of course, is a pretty damn good developer, and a lot of PC players are going to be upset at this news, as they've been primarily a PC developer for a little bit of time, but they're best known for their work on RPGs like Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Fallout New Vegas. After those games came out, and Microsoft canceled their Xbox One game, so there's a little bit of history between the two companies. If you recall, they were doing an RPG called Stormlands for the Xbox One at launch. They canceled it, and they kind of hit dire financial straits. They had to go to Kickstarter, and that's when they basically came up with Pillars of Eternity, which did really well from them. And I think the last Pillars of Eternity game was highly rated on Metacritic. So the studio pumps out quality games. And we all know Microsoft not only is looking for first-party content, they're also looking to bolster their presence on the PC scene. In fact, one of the arguments here is that Microsoft sees this as a good sale because it would help potentially bring PC gamers to the Windows 10 store. Now, I don't know about that. Like, I get the idea if you put out a pretty solid, hardcore RPG with the backing of Microsoft's money and put it on Xbox and Windows 10, that you might be able to bring in lapsed Obsidian fans and have them screw around with the Windows 10 store. I don't know about that, but there definitely will be some upset PC gamers out there if this deal actually does happen. Now, of course, Kotaku did ask Microsoft and Obsidian for some quotes, and we actually got a pretty good one here. Microsoft said, "We don't comment on rumors or speculation," and Obsidian said, "Unfortunately, we don't comment on rumors and speculation other than to say that Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac still holds up." I mean, that's a pretty damn funny quote. I don't know, man. Looking at everything that Microsoft has put together, the announcement that this past E3 of all these new studios, of them potentially buying Obsidian, and rumors are that they aren't done yet, there's even more to come. This does seem like this was going to be announced at XO18, the fan event that's being held a month from now. It really signifies that Xbox is deadly serious and they aren't screwing around for next generation. Now, you may all laugh at that and say, hey, Sony has all these great exclusives, God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2, Microsoft isn't really a threat, and maybe they aren't, but the whole point of the matter is Microsoft realizes what one of their drawbacks were, and they're rectifying that. They're going out and spending the money to have a great first-party studio lineup like Sony, which took years to build. And while, of course, nobody's arguing that Microsoft shouldn't have done this sooner, of course they should have. They should have been doing this since, the 360 era. It's good to see that they're finally addressing it now. And yeah, while it sucks that these games won't be available for this generation, the future does indeed look pretty bright. And I'm, a more glass half full type stuff guy when it comes to this stuff. All I ever wanted to see from Xbox was action, not lip service. Phil had talked about building up first party for years, since 2014, and we saw nothing. And people were getting sick of the lip service, of saying it's a goal of his, he wants to do it. But instead of building out first party, he was shuttering studios. But in my opinion, this shows that Microsoft is committed, that Phil basically is doing what he said, and he's gonna provide gamers with quality games, whether it's on the Xbox, the PC, or potentially mobile phones and tablets through a game streaming service, and providing reasons for you to keep your Xbox Game Pass subscription from month to month instead of just signing up to play, Forza Horizon 4 for a couple dollars and then getting rid of it. They want people in the ecosystem, and they realize that content is king. I'm glad they're doing it now. I wish they had done it sooner. But man, Microsoft is serious. And I know everybody in the comments section, everyone's listening. When this deal does go through, which I think it might, you pretty much have to agree with me that Microsoft isn't fooling around. They are really, really eyeing next generation. They have a lot of great things to offer, and we'll have to see how it all plays out. We know an Xbox 2 is coming. We know a PlayStation 5 is coming. We know Google's getting into it. Microsoft needed to do this to secure their future for next gen, to secure their fan base and provide content. And doing this is exactly what they needed to do. So I don't really know how anybody can downplay this. In fact, I already see some people upset on Twitter. But hey, that's how the cookie crumbles. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all this. Are you excited about the potential purchase of Obsidian by Microsoft? What games would you like for them to make? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it out on Twitter with your friends and followers. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Hi, how's it going? I'm Randall Thor 19. I do daily video game content, primarily focused on Xbox. And hit that notification bell if you always want to be notified when I drop new videos. Thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it, guys. And it's a good time to be an Xbox fan. Later.